Hour number 3. And, man, I always love it when this guy's on. Whew, because he and I we're eerily similar. Both born in Germany.
Both fast twitch athletes.
Both grew up in El Paso, Texas. We both know something about San Antonio. He with the victory over Michigan in the Alamo Bowl. I had the pleasure and privilege of working with the Valero Alamo Bowl for 9 years, and he's a big fan of the the Texas A&M University.
There you go.
I mean, you can't start with the university. The Texas A&M University Aggies, and had the opportunity, like I was watching, the SEC Network christen its maiden voyage last Thursday. And man, and he invited me to a Super Bowl party, and for that, I thank my homeboy.
That's not bad.
Former Texas A&M Fighting Aggie, third-round draft pick, and man, 10-year veteran of the NFL, an extraordinarily gracious person, a friend of mine, Ray Mickens. Ray, welcome back to Laying Down the Law.
Man, that was a great intro, man. I'm blushing over here.
My homeboy, man.
Gosh, that was long. But you got it wrong, man. You said 10 years, and I played 11 years, man. That 1 year was really tough, man. You got to give me that 1 year.
I'm going to give you 11, brother. I am going to give you 11. Yeah. And we're both born in the month of January. So you were born in Frankfurt, Germany. I was born in Wiesbaden, Germany. Literally neighbors in Germany. And that's what brought us out to El Paso, Texas. You a two-time All-State running back before you went to Texas A&M University. Ray, an impressive start to the 2014 season as the A&M Aggies go on the road and really dismantle a top 10 team in South Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, actually there was a lot of impressive teams this weekend. You know, I'm a big fan of college football, college football before NFL football, but I enjoy watching a lot of top teams play, and A&M played extremely well. I mean, they played like I thought they were going to play. I think, a lot of people don't know Kenny Hill, and they thought, hey, he's a young guy. He's going to get caught up with the lights and the smoke. But, he went to South Lake Carroll as a sophomore. He went to the state championship game. So as a 15-year-old, he was in the big games. He's been in big games his whole career so far. And I knew that he would be poised enough to play well. And obviously you have Kevin Sumlin. He does a great job of developing quarterbacks. He showed it in Houston. He showed it at Texas A&M with Manziel. So.
Yeah, well, Ray, you live up in that Dallas-Fort Worth area, and, two people in particular stood out. One, Kenny Hill, and two, Myles Garrett from Arlington Martin, my good friend, Bob Wager, the head coach over there. I saw Myles Garrett in high school when they were playing Arlington Bowie, and I went, "You're in high school?" And he's like, "Yes, sir." Man, he looks like he's 23 right now, at a minimum. And to get that type of rush that, he is providing the left side of the defense and occupying two offensive linemen, now it's a big, you play defense, and you played defense 11 years in the NFL. Tell us what that does for defense.
Well, man, I tell you what, Myles Garrett definitely has the look part down. I mean, he looks like NFL specimen already. Now, he's got to develop as a player. And he'll be a future first round draft pick. He's going to be a guy that, like you said, demands double teams. And that really frees up, the linebackers to make plays. And so anytime you demand a double team on the line, you give your linebackers that much more space to run around and make plays. And that's what defense is all about. I mean, if you don't have anybody on the front that can demand a double team, well, your linebackers are always going to have to shed blockers and big linemen. That's no fun deal for a linebacker to be shedding linemen. So Myles Garrett is a great player, and then obviously Kenny Hill with his baseball background, and he's just got a strong arm. I mean, I think that was more impressive to me than anything was the decisions that he made. Anytime you come in as a sophomore, you may get a defense that you have never seen before, and you may throw a bad pass here or there. I was waiting for that moment, that gotcha moment, the whole night in that game, and it never happened. And so I was very, very impressed by Kenny Hill in that standpoint. He's going to make some mistakes down the line, but just from a game management standpoint, he did a whole lot better job than Johnny Football did last year.
We're talking about Ray Mickens, former All-Conference and All-American at Texas A&M, 11-year veteran of the NFL.
Yeah, this is James Fletcher. Ray, you look at the way Kenny Hill ran this offense, and you said you thought he was better than Johnny Manziel was. That's my question. Is the limit? Is the sky the limit for this Texas A&M offense with Kenny Hill running it? Because it really seems to be functioning at a greater level through that first game with him at quarterback than Johnny Manziel ever ran it.
Well, let me get this clear right now. There is never going to be another Johnny Football. Johnny was a special player. He played that position uniquely. I don't think that there's anyone that you can compare him to at that position and the impact that he's made in the game. That being said,
Ray Mickens, my brother, my homie. Could there be this guy in Kyler Murray that shows up a little later on the campus?
Well,
that may, in fact. And again, we're getting ahead of ourselves. I'm
gonna touch on that because
okay.
I know Kyler very, very, very well. But Kenny brings more management to the game. I think that when you're a Johnny Football fan, you're an A&M fan, you don't really see all the mistakes that Johnny made. You see the improvisation that he had that was phenomenal, where he'd spin out of things. There'll be a receiver open. He doesn't throw it to him. He spins out of it, and he takes off running for a 30-yard gain. Whereas a regular fan would be like, oh, that guy's amazing. As a coach, you'd be like, you got to hit the open guy.
Right.
And so, Kenny Football, or he don't like that, but I'd say Kenny Conservative, he knows how to. I saw a lot of times in the game where he was like, okay, boom, there goes my first read, my second read, boom, I can hit my third read. He's not looking to run. He's looking to throw. And so that's a big, big difference between those two. Now, you touch base on Kyler Murray. Kyler is as close as you're going to get to Johnny Football as I've seen. And people are going to see that once he gets to A&M. He is a better passer,
yes,
as far as making decisions down the field already in high school than Johnny Football is.
Well, he's got a dad that probably by age 3 had him reading 2D defenses.
Hey, no question about it. And in the recruiting process, Oregon was a strong school for him to go to. You got Mariota leaving this year, and he'll have 4 years there, unindated, and now you got to come in and play behind either Kenny or Kyle Allen or whatever. I think that you look at Oregon's offense, and it really doesn't fit Kyler the way that Kyler wants to play the game. Oregon, even though it's a spread, people don't know it's about a 50-50 run-pass ratio. They run the ball a whole lot more than people think. It's a spread stretch where they're trying to run it, and they have a lot of run plays where the quarterback takes off and run. That's not Kyler Murray. Kyler, he wants to throw the ball. He wants to read defenses, pick them apart. That's who he is, and I don't think the Oregon offense is like that.
Well, I'll tell you, we're talking with Ray Mickens, former All-Southwest Conference and All-American at Texas A&M University, and also I got to give you your props, All-State running back for 2 years out in our hometown, and then also 11-year vet of the NFL. Let me ask you this, Ray. I think the most surprising thing for A&M was the defense. They hold a Steve Spurrier top 10 SEC offense literally scratching their head 4 quarters on the road in the opener.
Well, one of my buddies came to me 2 weeks ago and said, man, I don't think A&M's going to, their defense is going to be one of the worst defenses in the country this year. And I said, well, man, if that's the case, then that's an improvement. because we were the worst last year. We were the worst. I think we were ranked 109th in the whole country. And so what we saw out there this weekend on Thursday, we saw a good run fits. That front seven stopped the run extremely well. I don't think they had over 60 yards rushing or whatever it was.
Right.
I don't have the stats in front of me, but the run defense was phenomenal, and we couldn't stop the run last year. So that tells me a whole lot. Now, the pass defense, I just want to close my eyes and just but I think that's going to come along. Terry Joseph is a great guy. I went down there this spring. I saw him coaching the young guys. I think that he's going to get that taken care of. But I'm very, very encouraged on what I saw defensively.
Now
Absolutely.
we're talking with Ray Mickens, former Texas A&M and NFL defensive back, 11 years in the league. Our A&M insider. Ray, you talk about that back end, and we saw it. They gave up. There were some blown coverages. There were some mishaps that led to big plays. But as a defensive back, especially the back end, that it's really young. You got a couple of freshmen back there. Armani Watts, starting freshman, true freshman at
nice
safety.
Hit, though.
Great hit.
Goodness.
No. But doesn't reps help to develop these players, and won't we see this back end kind of shore up as the season goes on and they get reps?
Yes, they will. And yeah, Armani Watts started off on fire out the gate. It's almost like, you're thirsty right now, and the only thing you have is bathwater, so that bathwater is going to taste good. Armani Watts did a great job right now because we're thirsty for some plays in the secondary, and he made some plays in the secondary. I think Shazer Everett, he's the senior. He's leading the secondary. He made some mistakes, some big mistakes in that game. And like I was telling my partners watching the game, it doesn't matter how many 5-star athletes you have out there. You still got to teach scheme. You got to teach these kids, these different looks and how offenses are attacking you, because they don't see that in high school. This is the SEC. You don't see these offenses and these plays ran at you at Arlington Martin and around the Metroplex here. So you have to teach kids these schemes and how to play and how to perform in them. I think some of the kids have to learn. It's a process. I think Terry's going to get him there, but Armani, he did a phenomenal job at safety, man. Saved that touchdown in cover 2, and linebacker didn't get deep enough, so they threw the ball in there. He ran over and knocked the ball out. That was a huge play.
Absolutely, Ray. You can always come on the show. We certainly appreciate having Dat win here in the building. And I know you know Dad extremely well.
That's my man.
Exactly.
I tell you what, man. I was a senior at A&M. That was a freshman, and as a senior, man, I had a lot of pride in my defense, and I was just like, I couldn't wait for the opportunity to be the captain of my defense, because every year I was there, we had Aaron Glenn or Kevin Smith or Quentin Coriat, and so it was my chance to be the captain of the defense, and then Dak comes in as a freshman, and I saw his mannerisms, and I said, man, young buck, this is your defense. As a senior, I said, this is your defense, man. That's how much respect I have for Dak, man. He's a great player. He studied the game really well. He can call out the plays before they even ran them. It was an awesome experience playing with Dak. And tell him I said what's up if he's in there.
We will certainly do that, man. Ray, we need to catch up. Maybe A&M, SMU, A&M, Arkansas. Can we do something like that?
Absolutely, man. I'm around, man. I'm going to go check out the game next weekend down there in College Station. And, I got to say, Texas looked good too, man. Charlie Strong, man.
Yes.
I'm rooting for that guy.
Yes.
I thought he did a good job, man. And we'll see. Time will tell what's going to happen there. But, I'm rooting for him to do well.
Would you like to see a bowl game that has Texas versus Texas A&M? After this week 1, I think that would be very interesting.
Well, if it's in Dallas and it's the national titles on the line, that would be lovely. If they can make it there, because that's where we're gonna be at. But that would be an awesome share. But I think it's gonna come. I don't think that anyone's going to force it to happen. I think the TV is going to make it happen. I think politicians are going to make it happen. It's going to happen, and I think they may want to wait until Kenny football is done before they make it happen. But we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Well, Ray, listen, have a great Labor Day weekend. We appreciate all your comments and insights, man. Are you excited a little bit though for this Thursday kickoff with the Packers and the Seahawks though?
Yeah, man. It's going to be interesting, to see how the Seahawks defense looks. Making sure that last year wasn't a fluke. For NFL football is different. It's like you're playing, just like the Wisconsin LSU game last night. It could have went either way. That's the way the NFL is every week, all the way through week 8. You don't know what you're going to get. So I'm looking forward to it.
Sounds great, man. Well, I look to see you in a stadium soon watching the Texas A&M Aggies. We haven't had a chance to do that, but I always appreciate the hometown hospitality and the invitations. And, man, it will be fun, and we thank you. The listeners thank you for your insight. And, yes, it's going to be a heck of a season, both college and professional.
Yep. Thanks for having me, Steve.
Appreciate it, man. Take care. Ray Mickens, All-American, 11-year vet of the NFL as well. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We got a lot more to discuss. James Pledger is going to go on the air doing some high school football. Bowie Bulldogs playing San Antonio Madison. It is just on and popping right here, as Rod Chico Tanner would say. Enjoy your Labor Day weekend as well. Be safe. We'll be right back here on Laying Down the Law.